Hello and welcome to AUC News. This is Salma Azzam. A minute of silence was held on Wednesday to remember the victims of last year's bomb attack at the Brussels subway station on March 22, 2016. The bombing was caused by two suicide bombers who blew themselves up in the departure hall during the morning peak travel period.
The moment has now come to observe a minute of silence in memory of the 16 victims who led their lives here and to all the victims of March 22nd.
Belgium's King Philippe and Queen Mathilde joined Belgian Prime Minister Charles Michel for the remembrance at the subway station where 32 people were killed.
Personne ne peut prétendre comprendre pleinement l'épreuve que vous traversez. Vous qui avez perdu un être cher, et vous qui portez dans votre corps et dans votre esprit les séquelles des attentats terroristes, nous voulons écouter votre souffrance et respecter votre épreuve.
More than 300 people were wounded in the attacks claimed by the Islamic State group, but around 900 people now count themselves among the victims to have suffered physical or mental trauma. US President Donald Trump said on Tuesday that the Americans wanted change and that is why they elected him. During his meeting with the Republican Congressional Committee, he also took the chance to take a couple of jabs at former President Barack Obama's Obamacare Act during the fundraiser and labeled it as a disaster.
Finally, repeal and replace the disaster known as Obamacare. That's what it is, a disaster.
Trump also criticized the judges publicly, mentioning that his administration has faced problems with the judiciary over his travel bans. He made it clear that he feels that they supported Obama's administration more than they are supporting his. However, he will continue criticizing the judges until they support his move to protect the country.
We're also taking decisive action to improve our vetting procedures. The courts are not helping us, I have to be honest with you. It's ridiculous. Somebody said I should not criticize judges. Okay, I'll criticize judges. To keep criminals and terrorists the hell out of our country.
Moving on to Turkey, the latest US and UK ban on laptops and tablets on some international flights caused confusion among travelers at Istanbul's Ataturk airport on Wednesday. The US and British governments announced the ban on Tuesday, citing unspecified threats and attacks against airlines and airports over the past 2 years. The ban means passengers from airports in 10 countries are barred from bringing laptops, tablets, cameras, and other devices on board in carry-on bags. Only mobile phones and medical devices will be allowed in the passenger cabins.
Telefonu serbest diye okudum sosyal medyada ama bilgisayarları için bir şey demediler oradan. Bir şey söylemediler yani. Tablet de var, bilgisayar da var.
The ban is a concern for business travelers, journalists, and other professionals who work on the devices and use them to store sensitive information. Tourism officials worry that order could heighten people's fears of an attack and discourage them from traveling. Moving on to Australia, James Bradley, a 92-year-old British war veteran living in Australia, has been granted permanent residency with his wife on Wednesday. Him and his wife have been denied a visa because his health was failing, and according to local media, he would be a financial burden on the Australian health system. Bradley was speechless when asked about how he felt regarding the topic, and his wife spoke for him for most of the interview.
The public opinion, people who heard about it, read about it, yes, I honestly think all the publicity had a lot to do with it. And sympathy, of course, because he was a war veteran. Australia's normally so good over the war veterans, and it just so happened that He was here, and that's what started it all. His love of Australia.
The UK war veteran was very emotional after having waited 10 years for this decision. Fortunately, the Assistant Australian Immigration Minister, Alex Hawke, interfered in the matter and managed to grant them the visa, allowing them to remain an intact family for the rest of their lives. Bradley was overwhelmed with happiness to be sitting with his family, finally safe and settled. Moving on to the Fallas portray prominent personalities and issues that are both local and global. During this year, there are many who presented the US President Donald Trump.
El señor Trump, que es el Tianxi, porque la falla se llama Tianxi. El Tianxi es el dios de las cosas. En chino, bueno, pues de alguna manera este dios es el dios del mundo. En este momento este señor, pues representado aquí por ese muro que quiere construir entre Estados Unidos y México, pues sus pistolas.
Fallas was awarded UNESCO World Heritage status in 2016. Thank you for watching AUC News and see you next time.